And former President Nelson Mandela was discharged from hospital last night. The 94-year-old will continue to receive medical care at home. Well, let's find out how the beloved Madiba is doing this morning. It's a huge pleasure to welcome to the show Presidency spokesperson Maharaj. Mr. Maharaj, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time. No doubt the entire country wants to know how Madiba is doing this morning now that he's back home.
Indeed, it is good news, Gareth. Madiba is back home. It's something we all have been hoping for and praying for. The doctors yesterday came to the conclusion that he had made sufficient progress to be able to be discharged. Nonetheless, he still will receive home-based high care so that he recovers fully. He is not yet fully recovered, but he is sufficiently moved forward so that he can be discharged.
There was lots of calls as well for Nelson Mandela to go home to his home village over New Year's, back to Kunu as well. What do you think the chances are of that, Mr. Maharaj?
That's a matter, where Madiba goes in which period and which times is a matter that is entirely dependent on his own wishes. Whatever he wishes we will do. But right now the doctors have considered it necessary and good that he should be in Houghton so that he's close to all the facilities where they can give him high care.
It was well reported as well that President Jacob Zuma had made a number of visits to the hospital as well. Tell us a bit more about that. What was the interactions like between the two?
Well, at each time, I certainly was present at the first time when President Zuma visited him. Madiba was sufficiently alert, greeted him warmly. The last time he visited him, again, Madiba immediately greeted him with his clan name, Nkamalala, and there was a hearty interaction. In my instance, when I was there, we even cracked a joke. So Madiba was doing well, but as you know, when you're recovering, there are ups and downs, slight ups and downs, and the doctors are looking for a steady progress, and that began to be registered over the last few days.
And as far as the family contributing their support as well, I no doubt the hospital was more than welcoming to all the family members who had wanted to see Madiba while he was in hospital.
Madiba has an extremely large family, and we need to bear in mind that he needs a bit of privacy and space, essentially to allow the best possible conditions for his full recovery. But it is very good that he is now home where he can see his family members easily, and at the same time we would request that from the public they give due consideration to his privacy, because we want the conditions to be best for full recovery.
Oh, we certainly do understand that, Mr. Maharaj. Of course, I would imagine then with a lung infection that the breathing was our particular concern as well. Do we know if Mr. Mandela is breathing more easily these days?
He's sufficiently well to be home. I don't have the details. We depend on the reports from the doctors, and there's a very powerful team of very competent doctors attending to him, all sorts of specialities, including pulmonary specialists. And they consider that he has made it. In fact, he had made enough progress on the lung infection to allow for the procedure to be done to remove his gallstones.
That's obviously incredibly good news. Mr. Maharaj, just one final question. As you know, you were certainly at the centre of all of it with regards to the debate around President Zuma's privacy. Of course, we all respect that as well. Do you think it was well handled this time round from both the presidency side and also from the public's perspective as to what they can and should know about Nelson Mandela?
Oh, I think that there is a learning curve for all parties, the government certainly. I believe that there is a learning curve for the media as well and for the public. We have seen some features that many of us don't like, but I think none of them are of a nature that cannot be resolved around the table. And I personally would not like to engage in a public slanging match. I think South Africa needs to get more and more into a problem-solving mode rather than a problem-exacerbating mode.
But certainly the presidency never misled the public. Is that the right way of putting it?
The presidency has never misled the public. I think issues have arisen in the course of that. We can talk through it. I think there have been concerns also about the media, but I won't go into that in detail. There has been concern about the public, especially the social networks. I have raised that publicly, but I don't think this is the time for us to look at all that. I think we are very pleased that Madiba is doing well, and we want him to recover fully, and we need to focus on that.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Presidency spokesperson Maharaj, all the best for the new year as well, taking time to speak to us this morning. As you know, Nelson Mandela is back home, according to Maharaj, doing well this morning as well, rather upbeat. So good to hear that news about Nelson Mandela.